I really need to pee.
Can you hold it for an hour?
Maybe.
If you really need something to pee in, there's a Champion 2012 season cup over there.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
I think that might be just enough to hold you.
No.
I have in my system right now.
No, negative. No, guys. No, sir. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 37th episode of the Gut Owners Podcast. My name is Steven. Joining me today, to my left is Corporate Cal.
Hello.
To my right is Lauren.
Hi.
And all the way to the end is the Byronic Commando, Chuck.
What's up?
Chuck.
No, super chill.
Guys, before we get started, Princess Cuddlepants has joined and says she's here and demands her stinking glass.
Hang on.
Thank you. You got it. You got it. It's coming your way.
Keep buying me time so
your
that I can listen to this video because
if you guys subscribe,
you've got a thing.
Yes, try and listen to it quietly though, because actually I'll try to turn off our mics. Anyway, if you guys subscribe to our channel, then you get a free pint glass as long as I don't have to mail it to you. That is a hidden perk of being a sub. So you'll have to find us. You'll have to see us, come to town, come to PAX.
Come drink with me. Let's see who wins.
Go drink with Cal. We'll give you a free Gut Owners pint glass.
Do you have liver damage?
No, but Caldane will probably beat me.
Yeah, he will.
I'm surprised Caldane doesn't have liver
Caldane
damage.
just takes naps in between when he drinks, though.
Guys,
He does. He takes beautiful little naps.
I don't know if you saw last week after the podcast or this week on YouTube, but Jonathan and I, and on behalf of the podcast, we challenged Red 6 to Golden Corral to a game of speedrunners. And because of that, today's episode is brought to you by
Droid.
know what they were talking about. But butthole mouth. I don't think so. No way.
Are you sure?
Well, that doesn't even sound right at all.
We got a letter from our friends at the Gut Owners Podcast.
They sent a letter? What does it say?
They're challenging the boys to a video competition to play speedrunners to see who is best. And they want to compete tonight in Texas.
Texas is their home turf, and you guys haven't played that game in months.
It gets worse. I can't go. I got a Lamaze class I take every Friday night. It helps me with my IBS. But you're going to have to do it alone.
But Caleb is the worst speedrunners player on our team. The absolute worst. And they're a gaming podcast. There's no way he stands a chance.
I can't let Red 6 down. But I haven't played this game in months. I'm the worst of us. Can somebody train me?
I'm not going to train him.
Oh no.
Is there no one in this cold, lonely universe that will train me?
I'll train you.
Yes.
So are you gonna train me?
Yes, I'm going to give you the training of your lifetime. The Elijah Bailey's challenge is going to happen right here, right now. Are you ready?
Anime schmanime!
The image of me that you see is distorted, twisted, broken, fractured, isolated. I don't have to see. I don't want a separate thing. I need to feel safe. I'm thrown away. I will push down the walls. This box you pulling in. You're gonna push on. I know you push. I'm the level that fits me. I'm feeling good on a Wednesday with a sparkling thoughts. Help me unload this car. Yeah. So I push to close the door of the story you made for me to keep me away. And now we push to stand together because I am yours.
Is all this really necessary just to beat the Gutterners?
I mean, they're not even doing video games. They're just doing stupid workouts.
No, we just wanted to shoot a montage.
Wait, why is your beard black?
Oh, we shot this out of sequence. But anyways, I gotta go to the next scene.
Hey!
Hey,
Nick Johnson here.
Caleb Haldane there.
Well, okay, we are the Red Six, the Golden Corral podcast.
We're a weekly nerd culture podcast that covers everything underneath the umbrella of nerd culture, including movies,
video games,
music,
comics,
and sometimes awkwardly slash fiction.
not just sometimes.
Yeah, uncomfortably a lot of times. So, be sure to check us out at our website, www.red62goldencorral.com, or you can also find us
On iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, we drop an episode every Tuesday.
And if you're a real psycho, you can also visit our Facebook page at search for it on Facebook.
I'm sure. You can search for it on Twitter too, I think.
Yeah. So anyways, hope to see you balloon soon. That didn't make sense?
Nope.
Okay.
That's very cool.
Wow, that was.
Hey, good use of Oklahoma. That was a good use of your Oklahoman surroundings in that one.
I still saw a bunch of shit 'cause it was Oklahoma. I don't know about y'all, but it's still Oklahoma.
I love our Red Six.
Oh,
group.
they're
I'm not
so
gonna
good.
Say shit.
They're good. I also managed to lose a bet and have Caldane make content for my channel at the same time. So,
So who's actually the loser?
I do want to
here?
give them a quick round of applause,
that
though,
was
because
pretty
they
good. That was a
deserve
great
it. So,
video.
That was awesome.
good job, guys. Real good. So that's what today's episode is brought to you by Red Six Golden Corral. Go check them out. Also, Wednesday, from midnight to midnight, you will notice a couple of Twitter icons being Red Sixed.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So
You-
Jonathan and I's Twitter icons. We went for a bonus round,
You went for a bonus.
and
round.
we lost the bonus round too.
That was.
We did.
I would have.
So yours gets to stay.
I would have probably voted against your bonus round.
So moving on from that, what you guys been playing? Cal, what you been playing, man?
So, I've been sticking with my dynamic 2 that I always go with. I've been playing a little bit of League of Legends.
Yeah.
And also sticking with PUBG because I was warming up tonight for PUBG because the test server is coming out.
You're
And
getting
a little getting
lubed up,
getting
get a
all
little.
lubed up. That's right. Because if you didn't know, with the test server tonight on PUBG, or Players Unknown Battleground, if you're just joining us and
Yep.
don't know the game and like to play it, it is in their test server releasing at 8 o'clock, so it had already started on the servers today. They have vaulting in their test servers.
Yay!
They have new sounds for some of the vehicles, a little bit new outlook. They are also having on the 8 times and the 15 times scope. They're doing like kind of a you can dynamically adjust the scope from instead of being
Instead of having to switch out
to a 4
scopes.
times to a 2 times.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really fun to mess around with tonight.
See, here's my problem though,
Tell
is
me.
I like playing PUBG. I like playing PUBG on
Right.
PC.
Right.
I bought a new graphics card to be able to play PUBG on PC. I
Right.
got a 1050 Ti. It runs well. I can play on medium,
I'm
pretty
listening.
smooth. But when they release it on Xbox One, if people start playing it on Xbox One,
You know,
it's gonna pull me away.
is it gonna pull you away because
It might pull me away.
Here's what I'm gonna ask you: is it gonna pull you away because you're gonna have the ratio of a controller in your hand, and you're gonna be going like this, opposed to, oh wait, I can aim.
It all
you know,
depends.
it's-
It all depends. I'm also just bad with PC.
Well, we know.
In general, my only kills in PUBG come from panic kills. Game Guy said he's been playing Pocket Camp, which I think is a sex thing.
Yes.
And Warframe, which we need to get some actual multi Warframe on XP1.
That's right.
Yes, please.
I mean, we'll be on XP1. Game Guy will play on PC with you though.
Thank you,
If you wanna
game
do
guy.
that.
Thank you.
I will
Jonathan.
play on PC with you too.
Thank you.
And
Oh, shit.
I
Still
have
out.
not
Sorry. I'm still out.
because
is Warframe on PS4?
Yes.
Oh
It
yeah.
is on PS4. Okay.
And
You can play it, not with us, but you can play it.
And Digital Extremes will actually release different thank you packages to each of the 3 platforms.
Mm-hmm.
They are entirely different and they are entirely exclusive.
Well, what have you been playing, Chuck?
I've been I just recently rented XCOM 2 and Dead Rising 4.
That was a lot of fun to watch today, by the way.
Oh, yeah. If you are interested in letting me get you horribly murdered trying
you're
to fight
gonna
the
die.
alien overlords, then by all means, show up during my stream. I will be streaming it tomorrow before I go to work. And if you, just mention yourself and you give like a kind of a character sheet, how you want your character to look and what kind of classes and such, I will add you onto the team so that you can watch yourself get killed by aliens.
Cal asked Cal, are you going to watch the Big 12 championship game this weekend?
I will be watching the Big 12.
Who's playing in the Big 12 championship game this weekend?
TCU versus who?
Didn't we just play OU?
We did
like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
And we lost.
TCU OU, huh?
Again.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it's going to be the comeback because y'all didn't do anything in the second half of that game.
Okay.
So maybe we'll play all 4 quarters.
Maybe we'll.
So it's okay.
Maybe
What,
we'll.
are you trying to make a side bet?
Honestly, like we should have our own little version of like the Cotton Bowl between like UT and OU, except just for us because we're Fort Worth, so TCU, and then OU for the Red Six group.
We could do
that. Would be a
neat.
thing.
And we could throw cotton balls at each other.
Hey, it's true.
It's a cotton ball, not the cotton bowl.
What have you been playing, Lauren?
Cotton balls with watercolors.
I've been playing Animal Crossing on DS.
You have been playing. Oh, not Pocket Camp, which is what the Pocket Camp was referred to earlier.
Yeah,
Nick goes, did he say a side bet? We'll get to that in a second. I want to hear what Lauren's been playing.
Yeah, just on DS. Lots of family this weekend, so I haven't really been home. I've just been.
Did you get anything good? Did you farm anything awesome?
No.
Did you meet any cool characters?
Did
you put anything in your house?
I mean,
what the fuck do you do in Animal Crossing?
I sell a lot of shit to get bigger houses.
Oh, okay. So you're a flipper.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
That's about it.
And also, welcome, Robotical Nick. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome to it.
Your beard is majestic.
Very much so.
It is. So, I've been playing this week some Mass Effect. I've been getting further in Mass Effect.
Nice.
I'd really like to finish that. I really would like to get, because I just bought Neo on PS4, so I want to get to that. I'm behind on Hellblade. I've got Prey over there. We're still going through Wildlands, so it's a busy ass season. Sarah and I have to get back into Resident Evil 7 soon, so that's
There's a
lot going on.
There's a lot. It's a real lot. Oh, and Destiny 2 raid over in the next month or so. So that'll be a thing.
So my question, just on a side note, as you've been playing Destiny 2, how are you feeling about it?
I'm not repeating, like, you know how in Destiny you sort of you play through the shit of a story, and you do some cool strikes, and then you do everything over again ad nauseum to level up.
Right.
You don't do any. You don't have to do the.
Excuse me.
You can repeat stuff if you want to, but you don't have to. There's enough missions, side quests, and the side quests are fully realized quests. It's not go collect shit. It's like you do a thing and prevent this thing and do some climbing, and then it like do some platforming. It's cool. So there's the ceiling in Destiny 2 is a lot shorter.
Yes.
But you're not doing the same shit over and over. You're just doing the shit they have.
Oh, okay. Well.
And then you do the raid, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
If you didn't like, if you weren't super about the first one, don't bother with the
I
second
loved it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Then I hated myself for 5 months that I invested into.
In that specific instance, you might like to, but I wouldn't bother. You've got other stuff that you're investing in because you invest hard when you play games.
I always invest hard, Steve.
I play like every game for a little bit, and Calvin, you'll play like 3 games for years at a time.
I'll go real deep, dude.
Please stop touching Steven. This is making me uncomfortable.
The scratch on the shoulder was what was really, yeah. Okay, so now, hashtag spoiler alert. We're going to talk about Justice League from beginning to end, everything about it, and also here's a quick sort of anti-spoiler. There's not really anything to spoil. So if you just want to go into the movie super fresh, cool, go right ahead. We'll see you later. You can watch us on YouTube after the after you've seen it. It'll be on YouTube. For everyone else, we'll start with a simple. How'd you like it, Lauren? How'd you like it?
I had.
Oh, that's the wrong camera.
Yeah, we should just focus on you.
Look at while Lauren tells us a story. Look at my reactions. Huh.
Tell us more.
Because my integration into the group was all comics and things like that. I love DC over Marvel. So my initial reaction was, I'm not going to be hopeful. I bet this movie's going to suck. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay.
And I know that's not going to be a popular opinion.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a
really
wonderful thing.
I enjoyed it.
The
Just
capability to
because-
enjoy something for what it is and not need it to do anything.
Well, and I hate to say it, but like Marvel's got DC beat on for up to this point. They've got DC beat heavily in the movie category.
When you say beat, what do you mean?
Their movies are of better quality. They don't take themselves seriously. It's always really funny. And at the end of the movie, you're like, it may have not followed the comic, but at least it was an enjoyable movie.
Okay.
That majority of the consensus that I have got.
Spoiler,
is,
it doesn't seem like Steven likes the movie.
That's fine.
No. It's that I don't think that Marvel's movies are any better. I like them all. My favorite superhero movie, I'm not going to do that. But I'll just say I was the guy that liked Batman v Superman. I did.
I was too.
Okay, I unabashedly liked it. And not just liked it, I argue that it was a thoughtful film. It may not have been perfect, but I would argue that it was a good film. I would argue that. I see your eyes, and we have that's not the topic of discussion tonight. That's just your context for what I will say about Justice League and the Marvel thing is when people compare the DC movies and the Marvel movies together, it drives me up a fucking wall. And so when I read a review that says, this movie, even though they did some reshoots to be a little bit more lighthearted, coming off the heels of Thor Ragnarok, like it really should have been brighter. What the fuck does one thing have to do with the other? Yeah, they're both comic book movies, but that's not enough for me. You can have bright, silly comic book movies. You can have dark and gritty and street level comic book movies, and you can have fantastical, galactic style comic book movies. You don't have to do anything because other people are doing that. There's my thing about it. Chuck, what'd you think?
You kind of do have to do what the big guy is doing because the big guy is just raking in bajillions of dollars, and you can't ignore that at all. So you have to at least look at the formula and see what you can accomplish. Like, DC isn't even the only company that's doing this. Universal tried to do it with The Mummy and the Dark Universe.
Oh, their Dark Universe.
And it failed horribly in kind of the same way that I thought Justice League dropped the ball too. Like,
let me jump in the chat real quick. And let me tell you guys in chat, let us know what you thought of the movie. Strife said the movie was too rushed, both the production and the story.
Agreed.
Okay.
So continue. I just wanted to make sure we got chat
So,
involved.
I was actually discussing this with Crystal because she hadn't seen it, so I had to tell her my review. The Marvel movies, like, they started with the four main characters and they just kind of bounced off of that. It's like, okay, now that we have these four characters, we can slam them together. And now we have these two other ancillary characters that we can also bring into this mix too to kind of flesh out the depth chart. But we've already introduced those other two characters. But with both Justice League and to a worse extent the Mummy, the Dark Universe, they had a stable of the three characters, and they were like, here are these other characters that we know you're going to love, and we're going to try and shove them in your face here as well. Now, Universal was really bad about it because they only had one character, and they were going to have that one character spawn an entire universe. DC did not make as big of a deal because they had Superman, and then they had Batman versus Superman, and then they had Wonder Woman show up in that, and then Wonder Woman had her own her own movie. So you've got these.
So instead of doing 4 or 5 individual films and bringing them together, you had one film, a crossover, a third film with a semi-crossover, then a third film, and then the next connecting crossover from there.
And where I think Justice League fails on that is you had those three characters already established. And Marvel did a really good job of establishing the 4 original Avengers just entirely of their own.
Game Guy asks, Caldane asks, how much is a bajillion?
It's somewhere between a fuck ton and a Google.
I think it's about £7 because I don't know how UK money works. I don't know. Are they shillings?
Oh my god.
Is it pounds or is it quid?
Where are you at?
Like, what's the terminology? Someone please from
I
the UK,
sure am
tell me
glad
what
it's
the-
like
You can
4
just
o'clock
win.
in the morning over there right now.
No, we need APOC or someone to come in here and tell me how your money works. I don't get it.
It just depends on where
I don't
they
get
are.
it.
The money's different each country. Different countries.
so-
Like,
Can I ask you a side question?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Damn
know
it, Steven.
you don't like reviews that actually cross the universe. So like, oh, Justice League was okay, but Thor Ragnarok, which
Comparative
is
reviews frustrate me, and I know it's hard to review in a vacuum, but they do.
But here's my question. So Justice League, we just had the Wonder Woman movie come
Mm-hmm.
out. If they compare it to a DC movie, is that okay for
It's
you?
a bit more valid.
Okay.
It's a bit more valid. Kyle, what did you think of the film, man?
Now, for what it is, I enjoyed the movie. I went to the theater. I enjoyed myself. Now, into extents though, I also agree. I have to agree with Strife because it was rough because it was rushed because the origin stories, like Chuck just mentioned as well, origin stories have been done differently, and they're not doing they did a quick origin story for Cyborg or.
You barely got one for
You're
Cyborg.
right.
Okay.
They got one for. It's
And-
very short.
And they also for basically Aquaman.
For Aquaman, and you got
Super short.
a tiny little bit more
And
for the Flash.
and a little bit for the Flash. All three of these origin stories were super short, but they're
The
trying.
Flash got even less, I feel, because his father technically killed his mother. No, he didn't. So you got a little bit of that, but you didn't actually get to the point of how he became the Flash like you did
Well,
Cyborg,
right.
like you did
well,
with
they-
Aquaman.
They also implied though with Cyborg because of the event from what happens, how he gets it. That's how Flash gets it, of course, too. But they didn't really go into much detail of it as well. It's all still implied, and that was not enough information for me. Even though I know how they came about, but not
It's really not enough information for your average watcher to invest themselves enough emotionally that you're going to get the same kind of visceral response out of Justice League that they were really hoping to get out of the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like, holy shit, I've already watched 2 Iron Man movies, a Hulk movie, a Thor movie, and now all of a sudden we're going to put all of these guys together and we're all going to see them in the same movie, and now all they had were Superman and Batman. We were barely introduced to
other
Wonder
3.
Woman.
Yeah.
So in terms of the first Avengers, right? In the lead up to the Avengers, like Captain America,
God.
probably universally considered a good movie. The first Avenger, the one from World War II.
Right.
Iron Man, the first one, also universally considered to be a good film. Maybe not universally, but generally. Thor mixed, and Hulk mostly negative. I feel was the response.
That's true.
So it's not like there were 4 or 5 fantastic fuck films that led into the pinnacle. There was some varied response there. So should DC have done the work and done individual films for everybody? Maybe. I don't think they had to. I think that the Superman and Superman Batman was great.
Yep.
We've had a shitload of Batman movies, and even people who don't know Batman very well probably know his goddamn backstory.
I really like.
You don't need to. You don't need to light on that one.
No.
I think Cyborg needed his own fucking film.
Absolutely.
That's a cool character.
How did he get like it? Like, I mean, explain it
Oh,
more.
it's
Exactly.
explained
It
to
needs to be-
Batman
it
versus
needs to be
Superman,
broadened.
and there is the only backstory you get in the DCEU
Right.
for Cyborg.
And the other character that I feel like desperately needed an individual film prior to this one.
Flash.
Aquaman.
Flash.
Aquaman.
No.
Because
Okay.
Flash. And let me wait. Hear me out here.
I mean,
Flash needs to
I
go
can
more
kind
than
of see where you're going with
Do
this.
you know how they did Spider-Man? And again, I'm doing the exact thing that I hate when people do, and so I'm being a bit hypocritical here.
A bit.
The way they brought Spider-Man into the MCU was by bringing him into the film and then giving him his own, bring him into the universe and then giving him his own film after that. Sort of what they did with Wonder Woman, but not really. This really, Flash could get his own film.
But look at how
after
many
Justice League. I don't
Look
think
at how
we
many
need
characters they had in Civil War, and how many of them already had their own individual movie.
that. Right.
Black Panther was eventually going to have his own movie,
Right.
and he still is.
But-
Spider-Man was announced immediately after Civil War was done, but literally everybody else already had their own movie prior to Civil War.
And Stripe says DC had to play catch up with Marvel, but again, I wish that the studios would not be looking at it that way.
It's money.
it's business.
It's competition. It's money.
Yeah, but it's
What do you always say about competition?
no, competition is good. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be competing, to make the best movie they can. But DC doesn't have to look at Marvel's blueprint and follow it through those steps and try to cut those corners.
Yeah,
they
do.
can just do their own thing.
You
It's just-
think they'd be able to do their own thing, but the last time they did their own thing was Green Lantern.
Here's
was-
don't get me started on Green Lantern, please.
That's
Okay,
why they have to do that.
Here's my thing, because I agree that they should go back to origin stories. I agree, Cyborg needed one. Because of the Flash series, I don't feel like it's as much of a necessary.
And that was
it's
the
not
other
the same
thing,
Yay!
too. Yes. Hey,
It's-
Battlefield Vince, thank you.
Like,
for the
they
follow.
have
We
even
appreciate it.
explained the Speed Force in a way entirely different than what the TV show
I don't think
did.
every character needs an origin story, though.
Regardless.
Like Spider-Man Homecoming,
That,
they
I
didn't
think
touch
it's
it.
overdone. I think this
At
the
this
whole
point, everybody
Spider-Man
knows
thing-
Spider-Man's origin.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I
Because there's
think
like
Spider-Man's
3,
overdone. But
4
regardless,
movies already.
Yeah. Spider-Man,
with Justice
Spider-Man,
League,
Radioactive
I
Spider-Man.
absolutely do not feel Aquaman needs a prequel. Here's my
Why?
reasoning. Here's
Why
my
do you
reason.
not think Aquaman needs a
Because
movie?
the only reason, God bless him, he is a handsome man, but Jason Momoa is only in that freaking movie
Because he's
because
pretty.
he's pretty. And same with Amber Heard. Amber Heard as Mira is beautiful. I love it. But for the love of God, if they aren't there, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, what the fuck's Aquaman doing?" What the
You're
fuck's
getting a little
Aquaman
heated
doing?
over this one. Like you actually,
Okay,
you're
so-
Because
which is
I-
fine. You're
I
welcome
was
to.
so
I
excited.
thought that Jason Momoa, not only yes, he was super pretty, but
What does that have
I
to do
felt
with
like
the movie, though?
No.
That has nothing to do with the movie.
Yes, it does.
He was worthless
Yes, it
in the
does.
movie.
Because for it's just like Deadpool when it came out in theaters for Valentine's Day. It was the idea that you need to get females with their male counterpart or just couples in there. You want to get more people in there. The reason Jason Momoa is in there, one is he's pretty. Two, Amber Heard's pretty. So you've got that origin.
I will answer you in a second. I want to finish this thought here.
It's even most.
So hold the fuck on.
Mimosa.
So you're telling me that the only reason he's in there is because he's pretty, not because he's actually part of the fucking Justice League?
No.
He
That's
didn't
why it's
really
called
seem
Justice
like all that
No,
much.
no.
All he
Aquaman-
was just a sword.
No.
Was all
Aquaman
is
is
what
a
I
part of
call
the
him.
Justice
Trident?
League. Do
Right.
not get me wrong.
Right.
He is an integral part of the league.
Right.
No,
Do
he's
not get me
not.
wrong.
Nah,
No,
not in the
because
DCU.
He
here's
manages
my thing. Green
water.
Lantern is my comic. I started
He
on
wasn't
Green
even in,
Lantern.
he wasn't even there.
I love
not even
Green
in Justice
Lantern.
League.
I've always felt that Green Lantern should have been on Justice League because there's different types of Justice Leagues that we've seen over time. My thing is, okay, if you're going to use Aquaman, fine and dandy, but you need to have him do something intricate to the movie.
Integral.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I know what you
I'm
mean.
angry.
And all
I
he
know,
did-
no, you're fine.
All he did was fight things.
So here's the thing.
He stabbed
That was
him
it.
with
I
a
think
fork.
that was all he did.
So
because
yes,
He was the muscle.
Was he underutilized? Yes.
oh fuck yeah,
Yes,
he was.
not
But
saying that.
the casting of Jason Momoa is what my point was, which was, yeah, like he's a good-looking dude, but I also loved the way he portrayed Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because he is that sort of like, and I wish that they had had more time to spend on this because
No, they didn't
Yes.
need more time. They just needed
no,
to
no,
spend
no.
more of the
What
time.
they
I'm
had
about
on
to say,
him.
what
Yeah,
I'm about
this-
to say, they should spend more time on what I'm about to say, is that he is that old, like, busted, drunk half the time sort of fuck up. And Bruce Wayne being able to look at that as the old guy and being like, I remember being fucked up like you. Like, that would have been a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's something they could have spent more time
They
on.
could have.
But they
I
didn't.
agree with
Right.
Chuck. If they had spent any more time on it, it would have been
It would have shown why he's like comes up angry, why he's only supporting the poor people who can't get food, why he's like so abandoned away from the city of Atlantis.
Which is
Where
why
did this all come
Calvin-
from? Where's all this story?
This is why Calvin wants a prequel for. This is why you want the origin story for Aquaman.
I
I
want
want information. I want
Yeah.
it to be there
Yeah.
for everybody to
I
see.
would want an Aquaman movie standalone.
It was rushed. It should have been a standalone.
I actually, with the way that they've done it now, it would work really well to have an Aquaman movie now because he's already been established. He's part of the Justice League, and now that he's done something to not only save Atlantis but actually reintroduce himself to it, he can jump into it now. And then you can finally have more of that backstory flesh out while he's dealing with his reintroduction to Atlantis.
I
So that would
absolutely-
work well.
First
I
of
think.
all, let us discuss the addition of the Wonder Twins. Does the DC universe ever need to bring the Wonder Twins
No.
in ever?
For the love
For
of
any
God,
reason?
no.
Cole, I mean,
No.
we have
Come on.
already
Comedic
we have
relief.
already seen Deathstroke.
Comedic
You're
relief.
saying yes.
Comedic relief. Why not? Because
Who's that Cal saying yes?
Like
No,
comedic
you know
relief.
what they need to do?
Comedic
They
relief.
need to bring Green Lantern back in and be like, "What's up, guys?"
Okay, so they reference the Green Lanterns in the film.
No, they need to bring back
Green
Green
Lanterns.
They,
That almost
they
made
do.
me cry.
Good.
they need what did
referencing
Green
the
Lanterns. Like,
Oh
in
yeah,
the-
see the
Yes!
the early
Oh,
fight.
And Strife mentioned Zack Snyder had a different cut that had more Aquaman in it, so he said the original cut. Cal being cheered for Wonder Twins.
Thank you.
Game,
Thank
Guy.
you.
Game Guy says at least they didn't make Green Lantern's allergy to wood. And Jonathan says, I think Aquaman was Spider-Man in this movie. He was introduced, played a small and fun portion of the film. And I sort of thought that
absolutely
Flash
agree
was the
with that.
Spider-Man of this.
He
which
was the Spider-Man.
Ezra Miller was a great Flash. Can we say that?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about specific
I love
performances real
that
quick.
Flash.
Specific performances. Gal, serviceable Wonder Woman. She's great in the
Obviously.
film. She did a good Wonder Woman. Disagree?
I agree.
I agree.
Agreed.
Okay. This may get a little bit heated, but I love the Batfleck.
I like the
I
Batfleck
do too.
I like the
The more
Okay.
I
He's
say
all
it,
right.
the more I see it, the more I
Fucking
like it.
thank you. Fucking thank you. Now Jason Momoa's Aquaman. His presence.
His presence.
Acting. His acting.
His presence.
His
as-
The
acting is.
the portrayal.
I love him as an actor.
I loved it.
I feel
That was
like
great.
it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm not in love with it.
But
Chuck?
you think he's pretty.
Of course he's pretty. He's a girl.
Yeah.
He did like he did the washed up drunk thing, like you said. He did that really well. Like this the really gruff, rough and tumble guy, because you can tell that he's been hanging out with sailors
Yeah.
for all this time.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he's
yeah.
going to be one of them. So he's the biker dude.
Say he's like the Thor.
Cyborg.
I liked it. And you
I
know
thought
what?
I thought he did decent.
I really liked the booyah. I almost screamed when he said it.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy when he said booyah. I was like,
How much you want to bet on a live action Teen Titans movie after all the bullshit that's
God.
happened?
Did you like Cyborg's actor?
I did. I thought the way,
it was
because he at the same time, like the way the growth of the character through the movie was good, but also at the
Didn't
same
have enough time with him,
Did
but
not
I
have
think-
enough time with him.
I think
because he's
given
like,
the screen time though that the actor did as good as one could
phenomenal.
expect.
Yes, he did phenomenal
As good
with
as one
what
could
time he was given. I
I'm-
agree. Yes.
I'm actually used to the Teen Titans cyborg, who's a lot more happy-go-lucky, a lot more energetic.
Okay.
And this particular cyborg
Spazzy.
was a board. He was
Sure.
a 2x4.
Sure.
And I can kind of understand where that's coming from, because he's got a lot of machinery running through him now.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, he is supposed to be dead, knows it. He blames his dad for
He's
bringing
trying to
it
figure
back.
out, he's figuring, and again, this is
He's
why I think
got
a
a whole-
Cyborg movie would have been fucking good, is
Yes.
because you
Yeah.
get that whole Master Chief complex
Yeah.
of like, am I human or am I robot? What parts of me is human?
and why
or
is
not?
every
Where's
day my
soul?
body like fucking? Oh, I can fucking hack everything.
Yeah.
I also see the downside to that, because
Ooh,
I
a Watch
think,
Dogs noir style Cyborg film. Fucking sign me up.
But here's the problem, because then we've already had Assassin's Creed, we've already had a lot of movies, or a lot of video games being made into movies. You don't want a cyborg movie that everybody's like, it's a fucking Halo movie. Like, it's a
Oh no,
fucking
no,
Halo
no!
movie.
I just
why
meant in just that sense of like, how much of me is human and how much of me is machine.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't mean like make it a video gamey kind of
Okay.
movie,
So,
necessarily.
okay, go with me on this.
Oh, and last question though, Ezra Miller did a
I loved this
good job.
Flash.
So the point here, I think we all
And
agree.
what about Superman though?
Cavill? I think Cavill does what you can do with Superman.
Yeah.
I think he does it. Actually, I thought I like him better than Christopher Reeve now.
And
Me
my
too.
point, wow, hey, goodness, some people might. That's good.
Come at me.
My point though is that the performances, pretty much across the board,
Yeah.
like it was a
Were
well-performed
at least
film.
passable.
Yeah. So anyway, you were going to make a point, I think.
All right, so
Need more porn stash Cavill though. Okay, that was one thing.
You could see the
CG
editing.
lips is a little off. Kind of in the same way like when you see the CG characters in Rogue One, where you're like, that's a little off. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you can tell. But you may not if you're not
Don't focus
like a
on it, Steven.
if you're not a film student, you may not notice it. So some of the people we went were like, oh, I didn't even notice. So
all right, so go with me on this. Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman are all three taken care of. Now that they've established the other three characters, Aquaman can have his own movie, Flash can have his own movie, and Cyborg can have his own movie, and all three of them can deal with, like, A, their new place amongst the superhero pantheon, B, how that affects them, like their personal life, their public life, and so on and so forth. And then you can really use that to really reflect their different characters. Like you could use it, like I was talking about a redemption story with Aquaman. You could have Cyborg finally figure out a little bit better who he is and what he's supposed to do and what he's supposed to be. And Flash kind of has that first Spider-Man movie where he figures out, hey, I'm a superhero. I can do more with this than just move around really fast. This is a thing I can do. Because one of my favorite scenes in this movie, like probably my top favorite scene, was, what do? Go in, grab a guy, pull him out.
Caldane cheered another bit for the Wonder Twins. Hey, you can, if you want to keep cheering Ascent all night, Caldane, I'll leave the stream on until you're done.
Like, that was my favorite scene, because he had never done anything.
Go save one person.
Go save one person. Go in, grab him, bring him back.
And that's all you have to do.
And he kept going.
What do I do after that?
You'll know what to do.
You'll know what to do after that.
That
was the
a really
first
good
time
scene.
that he had ever done anything superhero related at all, much less with his power.
And if the movie was going to make and this is something my brother mentioned, if the movie's going to make a point about leadership, and I'll get into that in a second because I want to address a couple things Jonathan said, that is an example of a brilliant way to do that. That way Batman was telling him, save one person, and then from there you'll know what to do. Well, that's a point about leadership.
I think the point that they were trying to make with Justice League was being able to trust your other teammates. It wasn't a question of leadership. It was a question of working together as a group.
Sort of. Let me get to Jonathan real quick, though. He says, autistic Flash, it's on spectrum. Flash is fun and makes sense considering that he experiences the world faster than folks.
True.
So that's cool. He did not like the scene on the rooftop where Commissioner Gordon turns back around and they're all gone except Flash, because it says it doesn't make sense that he wouldn't have noticed that they would have left. But to me, and this is maybe just fan justification, in my head, like, he obviously knew that. He was just joking around with Gordon, like, wow, can't believe you have to put up with this shit.
He's already established himself for not being able to pick up a whole lot of interpersonal social cues, so he doesn't know, the subtle hints that this is the time that we need to disappear. So everybody else disappears and like, oh shit, I just missed my cue.
And similar to that, like, I know I'm not on the spectrum, but for some people who might be, I know when I focus, sometimes I don't really focus around me. I'm focusing on what I'm talking to or what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
probably something we all do.
And so like here, if I'm talking to you and Calvin, I don't see Chuck. Unless I'm looking at the TV, I don't see him. So if he were, obviously I feel him here, but if he were to walk away,
well, you wouldn't notice.
I wouldn't notice. And so maybe for me, it made sense, but in the same light.
So one of the post-credit scenes, and I'm going to get back to leadership, so I'm pinning that for a second, was Luthor and Deathstroke. How'd you feel about the post-credit scene with Luthor and Deathstroke?
I thought it was intriguing.
Yeah? I don't know shit about Deathstroke. I don't know what he does.
Why I was like,
okay, so you're like down for...
I'm like, cool, but like, all right, I don't know anything about Deathstroke, and you haven't really referenced it far, so...
do you know anything about Deathstroke at all?
Nope.
Deathstroke is the guy that Deadpool is based on, basically. Except
some people would fight vice versa. I'm not getting into that.
What happened is, like, the two of them started looking really, really similar to each other. I mean, Deathstroke is Slade, Slade Wilson.
Yep.
And Deadpool is Wade Wilson. And then they both have like guns and then twin swords and shit.
He's just a mercenary.
They were both really big mercenaries.
Like neutral, right?
Yeah,
just whoever's paying them.
So they tried to separate Deadpool by giving him that fourth wall breaking madness, and that was what established Deadpool as different from Deathstroke. But once upon a time, they were right there.
And we all know that you do the Deathstroke in the pool, so there's all crossover there.
Yeah. Is it the League of Doom?
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they mention the fucking
super
Legion
excited.
of Doom, I'm out.
I'm
sorry.
I'm the opposite. I'm really excited because I think he's going to be a fantastic Deathstroke, but now I want a Legion of Doom movie.
No, I don't.
Absolutely.
Why? I don't.
You don't want Legion of Doom to make any appearances at all, or you don't want them to have their own film?
I don't want them to have their own film. I mean, I don't...
You'd have to bring in the Yellow Lantern. You'd have to bring in...
Sinestro. You'd have to bring in Brainiac.
Here's my thing.
And it just gets rolled too wacky at that point?
That's why I want it.
It gets a little wacky.
I want a comedic DC movie that does not take shit seriously, because the Legion of Doom...
Who would they use?
So, a couple
Funny
of,
people.
Fucking DC has
don't know.
always taken itself a little too seriously.
That's why
it
it needs
I
a
have
funny movie.
never
You do
seen
have-
a DC IP anywhere that they were like, oh yeah, we can totally be funny with this shit.
Suicide
That's-
Squad tried it.
That's what happened.
Suicide
with
Squad tried it and failed.
I think
That movie-
exactly,
that
but
movie
they
failed.
took it too seriously. Even as a comedy, they took it too seriously.
I feel like Jesse Eisenberg, though, being a comedic actor in the past, could be that
Slapsticky.
playful.
Absolutely.
You know, even Gene Hackman played Luther before, and he was a comedic actor back then. Would you say? Would you say so, or am I wrong on the Hackman?
Light comedy at best.
Okay, well, okay. So the points about this film. There's a couple of cool things that happen. The leadership thing is not quite addressed, and I think they could have. Batman is trying to get Diana to lead the team. Okay. Also, Batman's arc from Batman Superman to here is an actual arc. He was angry and hate-filled and grizzled and hopeless. And that's why he was trampling over like the rights of people in Gotham.
And that's why he was killing people with guns?
And yes, and so he was like, he's old, he's been doing this for decades, and he's had a fucking enough. And then when Superman comes along, he says the line, if there is a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
And then he says it again.
And then he
here
flips the line.
in the exact opposite direction.
So,
and I was looking at the screen going, you're a fucking hypocrite.
No, this is the arc, right? So for me, this was the arc that I enjoyed, was when he fought Superman, and they had their moment, and you guys can argue about the moment if you like, I liked it. After Superman dies, he realizes the world does need Superman, and that's the whole thing he's doing. We need the group. We need the group to be hope. We need Superman to be hope. Can we get Superman back? Is there a 1% chance we can get Superman back? Then we have to take it because we need that hope. And so he's come a long way.
But I did think the scene in the revival was pretty horrible.
Okay, so
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
The revival I liked because I didn't want Superman to come back on his own, and that's a bit of a retcon because you see the dirt at the end of Batman v Superman lift up, as if maybe Superman will come back on his own, but you ruin all consequence because they were able to bring him back, and maybe the way they did it could have been different, but because they used a thing to bring him back, a rare thing to bring him back, it's not like, oh well, Superman will be fine no matter what. You know?
See, I personally thought that Superman actually was just in essentially a cryostatic like coma type deal and not dead.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was actually supposed to be, and he was just, his body was healing and he was going to be busting out of his
If
grave.
he was going to heal, he needed to be out in the sun. And
Right,
they
but-
explained that in BVS too.
Right, but that's not what's in the story. Right? The story is that he is actually just...
It looks like they...
He's in like his own mental cryostasis,
So,
and his body is healing
it's
itself.
comatose. That's what it seemed like.
He's trying to get Diana to run the team, and he tries to kill himself like twice in the film. He's like so sick of doing it. Like, not necessarily sick of doing it, but he feels like this is the thing I have to throw my sword on. Is first, Superman. Like, he's gonna come back and he's gonna want to kill me. Fine. Let him do it. But the world needs Superman more than it needs Batman. And that's like a cool arc from where he was at the beginning of the first one. And then when that doesn't take, he's like, tell you what, when we go fight Steppenwolf, shit villain. I liked the film overall.
I liked his axe.
Steppenwolf's axe was cool, but it's just they could have put a cardboard cutout with bad guy written on it, and it would have been the same shit.
So question. We all like Ben Affleck as the old Batman. Peter and I talked about it, and because of how he portrayed himself, now that Superman's back, do you think we're going to get a second movie with the protege, with the new Batman?
Well, because I know that Ben Affleck's wanting out, and also would have been kind of cool for him to have, given his life for the team that Superman will now lead, because he's trying to get someone else to take over. But Superman's entrance doesn't really do anything other than I'm strong enough to
beat all four of you.
Beat this motherfucker that you guys were having trouble with. So that was a little bit wasted. And the point on leadership was a little bit wasted because he didn't die to turn over the league or anything like that. But I'm guessing that now they're going to use the arc because in Suicide Squad, they sort of set that, from Batman, Superman, and Suicide Squad, they set that Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, was Robin. And Robin has become the Joker.
They didn't say it specifically.
Well, he's got 2 bullets in his shoulder, and the Robin suit has 2 bullets in the shoulder.
It was implied a lot.
And they talking about people, going to the other side or whatever they called it. So yeah, heavily implied, but pretty much
Not
said
necessarily.
it. So Batman passing on to Nightwing to fight the old Robin, that's a cool flick. I'd go watch that.
Do you think they'll do a movie where it's like, oh, here's Nightwing, and then a third movie where it's like, Nightwing's not Batman? Or do you think it's going to be the next movie?
I think the next Batman film will be him passing the torch to Nightwing.
So it's a slow...
Yeah. And
push.
I think Superman now is not going to be that same sort of who am I Superman from the other two films. He's going to be more of that good, I know what I'm doing, I know what my purpose is, and the world has accepted me, and this is something that Batman v Superman did very well that Justice League didn't really touch, which was the effect of the world around it. So maybe you didn't think that Justice League, or maybe you didn't think Batman v Superman did it very well, but they did have a lot of the government and the people and the reaction and clips from TV. Do we need Superman, And what is the bat doing more harm than good? And these people dying in jail and stuff like that.
And they had that moment in Batman versus Superman with Superman, too.
When twins cheer kids. I'll take your money, Kaldane. Shower it on me, my friend.
Make it
Now,
hail.
on a random side...
But they didn't do that with Justice League. They really didn't touch... If you weren't in the Justice League, the movie had nothing to do with you.
They touched on it in the opening credit sequence.
And that's what bothered me, is that they set up this, the kids and the Superman and the cell phone video, oh, this is, going to have some on-the-ground society reacting, and then they just kind of went...
I saw the CGI there heavily. I thought Henry Cavill...
In that one?
Yeah, I thought Henry Cavill wasn't going to be in it, specifically because of the CGI in the video.
You thought that Superman wasn't even going to be in the rest of the film?
At all. Because it looks so heavily CGI'd. It was like the scenes of Princess Leia, of Carrie Fisher, in the next movie. Because
in Rogue One, maybe?
No, in the new one.
No,
in
she's
the Last
going to
Jedi.
be in 8.
No, she
finished 8.
She finished 8. She's just not going to be in 9.
I've seen snippets of the Last Jedi, and it looks heavily CGI.
She finished 8.
Okay, just checking.
They need Blue Beetle.
But it did.
If they bring in Blue Beetle,
that
they need
part
Booster
looked
Gold,
heavily
too.
CGI.
Now, I have also for my DC fans as well, since you watched the double end credits, right? You watched all of it, right?
The what?
Okay. So
Flash.
We saw both stingers.
Flash.
The Flash portion at the
Yes.
end, the race.
Yeah, Flash is going to win. It's going to be Flash.
Well, no. The thing that bothered me about that, though, is...
That's the Tick, Kaldane. Spoon is the Tick.
I love the Tick,
is
by the way.
That race specifically is a foot race, and Superman is flying in it.
You're absolutely right.
Cheating ass.
That is... But it's going to be Flash.
Son of a bitch.
But it's going to be Flash.
That
Because Flash-
OP Kryptonian asshole.
I'm just saying
here's
that
the
if they're
thing.
going to be specific and bring these things into it,
It should have been. You're absolutely right.
should have been a
Should have
race.
been a foot race.
It's a foot race.
It's a foot race, not a flying race.
My point here with Justice League, from my perspective, is that I don't think you had to necessarily do what Marvel did to have a good collective film. But I think that I liked it. I liked the film. I didn't love it. And I loved Batman v Superman. I did. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And I'm going to watch it again to see how it sits with me. See how a second viewing, because usually the second viewing sort of cements me in one direction or the other when I'm sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
But is this a movie you would watch again?
I think I'd want to watch, like you just said, Batman vs Superman first again, and then watch it again to get that in there. And yes, Jonathan, that was my soapbox. I hope you're okay with it. Okay. It's okay. It's not a big soapbox.
This is the hill he dies
It's a
on.
little bit of bullshit, and I will let my heart out because it's a fucking foot race. Okay.
And you could tell, and this is something that Sarah and I were talking about also, just in terms of Wonder Woman, is the way that the film is shot with these directors, i.e. the male directors, versus Wonder Woman, which was shot, and Patty Jenkins, the female director, there are times in Justice League where it's man, that camera's sitting on Gal Gadot's ass, for a minute.
There's one scene where
they do it with Jason Momoa too, and maybe
similarly so. In Wonder Woman, there was no tit shots, there was no ass
but yes,
shots.
and they managed to do a whole film without it. Yeah.
And I personally loved Wonder Woman. I know that's not a popular
a great
consensus.
movie.
No. Wonder Woman, I think,
thought
is
it was
huge.
fantastic.
Very popular. Yeah.
But because it was so fantastic, that's why I had such low expectations, because I loved it so much. But similarly so, I didn't really think about the directors and the male writing and things like that until I got a shot. It was like a full scene where everybody was coming out, yay!
Did someone say mimosa again?
Where they're like, I guess like stepping up, like coming from a lower tier to an upper tier on the stairs, and you literally see an ass cheek.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's the same outfit, but you
The skirt of that outfit is shorter than it was in Wonder Woman.
But
It had
you
to have
didn't
been.
notice it, or I didn't,
No.
until that scene.
Wonder Woman's camera work was good, but there's way too much slow-mo. Wonder Woman's
I agree.
intro scene, something that Sarah mentioned real quick, and we do have to wrap up here, but the Wonder Woman's intro scene where she's like fighting random terrorists in that building, it's not really a heist,
Yeah.
but it's sort of a heist. Kind of a bland way to bring in like your which Wonder Woman was the best movie, both commercially and critically in the DCU.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you should bring your star forward. Maybe give her a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
But so we've picked it apart. You said you may watch it again combined with Batman v Superman. Final thought: would you guys watch it again?
No.
I agree with you. I think I would watch it again. I wouldn't watch Batman v Superman, only to do the comatose scene to check on that, but to really set in mind whether I actually like it or not, to really see it. I would watch it a second time and check.
The last thing that we do is we go to the can. This is the Gutter Nerds Fan Can. You can tweet us at Gutter Nerds using the hashtag FanCan. You can find us at an event, or if you're on PC and using our Nerd Cred loyalty system, you can use that to add a question to the Fan Can. Lauren, would you pull a question, please? Pre-screen it to make sure it's not fucking horrible, and then
They're all fucking horrible.
Are you
and then read it
sure?
aloud.
Wow.
Because I don't look at these when they go in, and I should, but
Can you read?
I can. I'm not sure it makes sense.
It barely makes sense.
I think we need a new one.
oh no, I know what this is.
Oh,
so
good.
this is Can You Defeat Transit?
Oh.
This was asked by one of our younglings that met us at the Collected opening. Transit is a Call of Duty level. So can you defeat Transit?
I don't know.
I have no.
What do you
answer.
think? What do you think?
I'm gonna say probably yes.
I would. I would agree.
I'm pretty certain you can.
I'm pretty certain yes.
I would agree, but I have no frame of reference for this.
Yeah, I've
I think you could, and I bet $30, Chuck, that you can beat Transit.
I've defeated the DC Metro Transit. I've defeated the Berlin Transit, and I've defeated the tutorial level that is the DFW transit system. So maybe the Call of Duty Transit I might be able to make.
I bet you could. And I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say you can too, but only if you believe in yourself. Actually, I should point that way. That's you. Next week, guys, is Gutter Nerds Game Night for December, and we're playing Mario Party 7 on the GameCube. Sarah will be sitting in for me again, and I'll be running the show just like last time. It's going to be
I'm bringing
wretched.
There will be blood.
Wretched.
Bring the pain, bring the noise, because I'll be here talking it all fucking night.
JD101 and Battlefield Vince, thank you for the follows tonight. We are headed to 200 by the end of the year, so it has been a tremendous help. We appreciate you guys coming by so much.
Thanks, Vince.
Strife, thanks for coming by. Game Guy,
What's
Jonathan,
our
Calvin.
what's our spread
Wonder
now?
Twins!
Wonder Twins.
What's what?
What's our spread now?
I think we need 26.
I can't believe it's not butter. That's our spread.
Yeah, something like that.
Ew.
But follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Follow us here, subscribe here, and share us with someone. We really need to get to 200 by the end of the year. That's our goal.
I'm gonna do finger guns until we get 200.
Finger guns, that's right.
My name is
You're gonna
Steven,
steal my
Calvin.
bit.
Lauren.
Chuck.
and we will see you guys next time.